ॐ नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे. Welcome to Karma Yoga. In previous 7th chapter, Swamiji explained the freedom that is absolute freedom from the body-mind complex, freedom that is regaining our real nature and transcending the name and form or the law of causation, time, space and causation. Now in this last chapter of Karma Yoga, titled The Ideal of Karma Yoga, Swamiji opens the topic by saying the grandest idea in the religion of the Vedanta is that we may reach the same goal by different paths, and these paths I have generalized into 4, namely those of work, love, psychology and knowledge. But you must at the same time remember that these divisions are not very marked and quite exclusive of each other. Each blends into other, but according to the type which prevails, we name the divisions. That is, as per the temperamental differences between each individual, the yogas of jnana, bhakti, or karma, or Raja Yoga may be predominant. But any one or combination of more than one practiced sincerely can lead us to the freedom. Swamiji then says that all that we see in the universe has for its basis this one struggle towards freedom. It is under the impulse of this tendency that the saint prays and the robber robs. When the line of action taken is not a proper one, we call it evil. And when the manifestation of it is proper and high, we call it good. But the impulse is the same, the struggle towards freedom. Freedom is the one goal of all nature, sentient or insentient. And consciously or unconsciously, everything is struggling towards that goal. Then Swamiji explains that that which is unselfish is moral and good. That which is selfish is immoral and bad. Karma Yoga is attaining the goal of Mukti through unselfish actions. Though details of actions can vary as per times, place and circumstances. Then Swamiji explains that how certain actions are considered good and moral in certain societies. Same actions are considered immoral and bad in some other society. So the details of action vary as per time and place and circumstances, but essentially any action which is selfish is immoral and any action which is unselfish is moral, and that will lead us towards mukti or freedom. He says Karma Yoga, therefore, is a system of ethics and religion intended to attain freedom through unselfishness and by good works. The Karma Yogi need not believe in any doctrine whatever. He may not believe even in God, may not ask what his soul is, nor think of any metaphysical speculation. He has got his own special aim of realizing selflessness, and he has to work it out himself. Every moment of his life must be realization, because he has to solve by mere work, without the help of doctrine or theory, the very same problem to which the jnani applies his reason and inspiration, and bhakta his love. Next, Swamiji takes up the question, what is this doing good to the world? Can we do good to the world? He says, in absolute sense, no, but relative, yes. The sum total of pleasures and pains displayed on earth ever remains the same. Swamiji shows how illogical the idea of millennium is. In those days, that is during the time of Swamiji's visit to Western world, the idea of millennium was in vogue. It basically said that the God is coming and evil is getting reduced from the world and good is increasing, and ultimately the only good will remain. So Swamiji shows that how illogical this idea is, because world means the sum total of pleasures and pain, and it is sum total of good and evil. It is not that only good will remain and evil will vanish. Swamiji says this is impossible in the world, as it is the nature of the world to be the mixture of good and evil always. He further says we cannot add happiness to this world, Similarly, we cannot add pain to it either. The sum total of energies of pleasure and pain displayed here on earth will be the same throughout. We just push it from this side to the other side and from that side to this, but it will remain the same. Because to remain so is its very nature. This ebb and flow, this rising and falling, is in the world's very nature. It would be as logical to hold otherwise as to say that we may have life without death. This is complete nonsense because the very idea of life implies death and the very idea of pleasure implies pain. So Swamiji points out that those advocating these millennium ideas are fanatics. He further elaborates that actually the spread of Christianity and its flourishment was based on this idea. And Christianity was mostly propagated among the slave masses through this idea. And he says in modern times this idea takes the form of equality, liberty and fraternity. He says inequality is the very basis of creation. At the same time, the forces struggling to obtain equality are as much a necessity of creation as those which destroy it. There is both these above forces, the forces which create inequality and forces which struggle for equality, both would remain in the world. All are being dragged by this huge world machine. There are two methods to get out of this world machine. Either give up all desires and stand aside, that is basically the way of Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge, or plunge into the inside of this world machine and learn the secret of performing work, that is Karma Yoga, the secret of performing work in such a manner that the soul does not get entrapped into transmigration cycle. These are the only two ways. Swamiji says, do not fly away from the wheels of the world machine, but stand inside it and learn the secret of work. Through proper work done inside, it is also possible to come out. Through this machinery itself is the way out. In this world, work never stops, it goes on. Any work done with selfish motive binds us, while work without any selfish motive and without seeking the fruits of the work frees us, and Karma Yogi knows this secret. Truly, we are not bodies and we really don't work. We are the unchanging self. Swamiji says, know that this world is not we, nor are we this world. That we are really not the body, that we really do not work. We are the self, eternally at rest and at peace. Why should we be bound by anything? It is very good to say that we should be perfectly non-attached. But what is the way to do it? Swamiji knows the difficulty of average mind to grasp this point and says, yet all this may seem to be rather quixotic and too philosophical, more theoretical than practical. I have read many arguments against the Bhagavad Gita, and many have said that without motive you cannot work. They have never seen unselfish work except under the influence of fanaticism, and therefore they speak in that way. And then Swamiji presents the example of perfect Karma Yogi, Bhagavan Buddha. Swamiji exhorts us to work like Buddha. He says, he is the ideal Karma Yogi, acting entirely without motive, and the history of humanity shows him to have been the greatest man ever born. Beyond compare, the greatest combination of heart and brain that ever existed, the greatest soul power that has ever been manifested. He is the first great reformer the world has seen. He was the first who dared to say, believe not because some old manuscripts are produced. Believe not because it is your national belief, because you have been made to believe it from your childhood. But reason it all out, and after you have analyzed it, then, if you find that it will do good to one and all, believe it, live up to it, and help others to live up to it. This man represents the very highest ideal of Karma Yoga. Thus, in this last chapter of Karma Yoga, the ideal of Karma Yoga, Swamiji says that any work done selfishly binds us, and work done unselfishly frees us from the bondage of karma. And he asks us to work like Buddha. So in all these chapters, Swamiji has very beautifully explained the Karma Yoga and also the main theme of Gita. Let us pray to Swamiji that we may be able to perform work in similar manner. Om Tat Sat.